Welcome back to another SMAL Podcast. Here's where you're going to find us talking about gaming, about Pokemon, about sports, and I think we're going to talk about sleeping habits this week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've got a lot of content coming to you guys. I am Luke.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Drake.
And I'm Dave. Let's get into it.
Ciao.
McQueen on the hot, man. Why you gotta go Lady McQueen on us? Crazy.
I don't know. I feel like now I have to do something. But the let's go, there's gotta be this is breaking. This is where we are, breaking
Weird,
news.
twitchy meth addict.
Yeah, did you watch that last week, Jay? Luke was like,
No, I didn't watch. I listened to the podcast. I didn't see it visually.
"Oh, you didn't. You chose the right way."
I didn't want to look at three ugly men. It didn't make sense.
Jesse was at home in a robe on the bathroom floor,
crying
over McGregor.
This was the Monday or Tuesday I was listening to it. Whenever you
Fair
guys
enough.
put it out.
Did you have your second shot? Was that the day that you were off that you listened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd it go? Like, how'd you feel?
Great. No, I didn't. It was awful.
Defeated.
Did it suck too? Yeah.
It sucked. It sucked.
So it hit all of us really hard.
Yeah.
Spencer wasn't that bad. She got hers and she was, a little tired, a little headache, but not too bad.
Really?
I haven't really felt the same sense. I'm not convinced that you guys are even you. Kind of
Jesse's just
looking at your habits,
hallucinating the
waiting for you
entire
guys to break into something.
I didn't get hit as hard as my girlfriend did. She got hit hard, but it was like what was it? Probably almost a 12-hour, maybe 14-hour delay for her. We got ours done at 12, and then she got hit hard at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't until 4 a.m. And then I got a little bit of sleep out of it, and then I woke up, and then that's where I just felt like I ran a marathon the next day.
Yeah,
and
same.
your whole body is just.
I was just sore in places I didn't even know were on my body. I had my knuckles were sore and shit. It was so weird, man.
I felt like I was melded into the couch. I was just zonked. It randomly hit me that afternoon. I had gotten it at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock that day or the day before. Slept fine. Everything was fine. Did some errands in the morning. And then just by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I was like, you just zonked into the couch.
You know what the worst thing about it is that apparently from what I've heard and seen or whatever is that younger people get hit a little bit worse than older people, which just doesn't help the conversation, right?
Oh yeah.
Then whoever you're talking to is just kind of this old person oh, toughen up back in my day, and you're just
okay, boomer.
oh my god, and it's just cause the way it is doesn't mean we're any less tough, go ahead and
just because candy bars were 30 cents 30 cents back when you were a kid doesn't mean that you're tougher than us.
Just because you had penny candy,
thanks for ruining the planet.
Those bars are probably harder to chew through. Those penny candies were definitely sorted through with dirty ass fingers.
Yeah,
their immune systems
are tough.
Miles ahead of ours.
Oh yeah.
They've had 37 vaccines by now.
But that's why they go to bed a lot earlier than we do too.
I don't know, Jesse. Jesse goes to bed early.
What time do you go to bed, Jay? No, on an average day.
Between 9 and 10, in bed, laying in bed.
Right. Okay. So walk me through, so you go to bed, you lay down at 9. Are you out quick? Are you on your phone? Are you watching TV? How do you get to sleep?
No, definitely not watching TV because there's nothing more annoying to me than waking up in the night with big bright TV on and noise.
Mm-hmm.
I like the noise from the fan. And yeah,
that's pretty common.
That's about it. I don't like light. I don't like any light.
You're a normal person.
I like pitch black.
Okay.
Very much the opposite of myself.
And you don't take a long time to fall asleep either. You fall asleep pretty
It
quickly.
depends how tired I am, but yeah, I can go to. If I'm ready to go to bed, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah. So for me, because it's Sheen and I obviously she can conk out in seconds. If she lays on my chest for a minute, she's done, and then I'm well, now I have no hand, right? But for me,
Ross dilemma.
I toss in the one wireless bud and lay on my left side. That's just the side I lay on, and I have the iPad just chilling there, and I just put on YouTube and put on a playlist of whatever video game or whatever's just being played, and then I'm pretty good too. Yeah. And that I don't wake up very often.
Yeah.
I'm the worst like I think I'm probably the worst person to fall asleep that I know, because I have two screens going.
Oh.
The TV in the background playing a show that I'm not actually watching. I'm on my phone scrolling, playing a game, something like that. And then eventually Netflix says like, "Hey, are you still watching?" I'm like, "Obviously not. I should turn that off." And then I'm like, "Okay, this is probably when I should go to bed." Another half an hour of scrolling, and then eventually throw on some like sleep music and put that away and go to bed.
What's
I'm
sleep
different.
music?
Yeah.
Well, it's just
Yeah.
like it's just
Well,
like
to you.
it's like instrumental stuff. It's like light,
Okay.
smooth. Like no,
Shot her in the street.
Alexander Hamilton.
no, it's like no words. Like there's a sleep playlist on Spotify, and it's just like smooth, calm sounds.
Okay.
So I'll just throw that on really lightly, and
None of that Harry Potter shit. Just get you
no,
dragged
man,
up.
I can't. Because again, I love Harry Potter. Grew up on it. It's my like favorite movie to watch when I'm sick, kind of stuff. And like as soon as you throw on the Harry Potter instrumental soundtracks, I'm just like sitting there like
Groovy.
listening to it in my head. I'm like, okay, now I want to watch the movie. Like I can't do it. Nothing that I know. Same as like that's why I have to do instrumentals. If there's something that I know, like songs that are playing, I'm gonna sing them in my head and I won't go to sleep.
Right.
Don't you?
And what time do you go to bed normally?
Forget about me. What? Like usually in bed around 11:30. Fall asleep around midnight, probably.
Yeah, I try to get to bed by 11, but I'd say 11:30 is
Yeah.
my
Sometimes we'll be in
go-to
bed by like 10:30, and
time. I wish I was more
Your
like you.
wife is okay with this whole time. Like you have two screens going. and
she
you
does
have-
the same thing. She falls asleep during the shows. So like the show will be on, she'll put her phone down and she'll be out. She wants something in the background to listen
I'd
to.
be so mad with your TV on.
No, so that's the other thing is I often will throw it on a sleep timer. So it like a sleep timer.
You're that
I'll
old.
put the sleep timer on
You
for
know,
an
only
hour.
grandpas do that, right?
Well,
like,
Well, they're tougher
it's,
than us.
it's so I don't forget about it and leave it on all night. Because there's a few times that'll happen. You wake up at 2:00 in the morning and it's like Jesse said, it's just screen. It's like, oh God, I hate that. But so I'll throw on like an hour sleep timer. So if I don't recognize to turn it off before then, it will turn off.
yeah, I'm a bit different. Like,
Aren't you always?
Jill and I are like, obviously, but I like to like do all that stuff before I even go to bed. So I will like lie on the couch and watch TV until the point of absolute exhaustion. Then I'll turn everything off and I'll just go jump into bed, and then I'm out within a couple minutes. But Jill likes to go to bed really early, but she'll have the screens going or she'll have the TV going. So every time I go into bed after, it's already on the Netflix, "Hey, are you still there?" kind of thing. And so I go in and I turn everything off and I jump into bed, and then I just kind of do that. But I try to get all my stuff out of the way beforehand. But now I've been trying to listen to like audiobooks and stuff like that. So it's kind of tough because I haven't gotten to the point where I can sleep yet with like an earbud. I feel like it's going to fall out or whatever, and I'm going to lose it. And so I always like kind of like, sometimes I might go early where Jill's kind of still half up, and then I'd be like, "Hey, like, do you mind if I just kind of put this on and just play it from my speaker on my phone?" Like, "Oh, we're doing it together," you know?
So the funny thing, like that's actually great because sometimes I'll forget my headphones at work or whatever. Like I just like, my headphones are going. So I just let the YouTube thing go. It doesn't matter to Sheena at all. She just like out like a light. The
Yeah.
funny thing is though, like for me, like if I wake up at like whatever time and I see it's on, I just tap the button and the screen goes black. Like it's not a problem. And I have YouTube Premium, so you can actually play whatever playing in the background with a black screen too, which is really nice. But man, my reference like on my YouTube like algorithm is so messed up because if I like fall asleep with one thing, like let's say I'm watching like a Pokemon Nuzlocke thing, like the next day it's like because it goes all night into the next one, right? So like the next day on my YouTube channel, its recommendations is like only Pokemon stuff only. Like it's everything else is gone.
Episode
wild.
327
Yeah.
of the same thing. Right?
Oh, it's so
Like,
crazy. Like every day my YouTube thing just looks totally different.
Yeah,
It
It's
depends on
nuts.
what you decided to go to sleep to.
Yeah.
yeah.
I tried doing headphone stuff before. Can't do that because if it falls in bed, Allie will eat them.
Oh,
true.
good point.
Because she'll eat Spencer's earplugs because Spencer will put them in because I'm a snoring beast, and Allie will eat all of those
Crazy,
headphones,
man.
earplugs. So like if it was a small headphone, she'd probably go right at it.
So what everyone do this
Little
weekend?
teaser. Yeah, I just got back from Halifax.
Welcome home.
Finally got to see some family. It'd been 9 months ish probably since we were last in Nova Scotia,
full
and at the same time seeing
Gestation
family.
period.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's been a while, but got to see all my aunts, uncles, parents, that kind of stuff. So it was good.
Nice.
Did a little walk at the boardwalk. It's been like a year probably since we were on like the Halifax waterfront. There's so much new shit.
How many Magikarp did you get?
I didn't play any Pokemon Go, but there was tons of people playing Pokemon Go.
I would imagine, yeah.
Tons of people. It was crazy.
That's a sweet spot to do that.
Because at first it's like, why are all these people congregated on their phones? It's like, oh, yeah, Pokemon Go.
It always takes you back to 2016.
I thought about getting it out. I was like,
What a
no,
time.
we're going for a walk. I'm with my parents. I'm not going to bother. Like,
Haven't seen them in 9 months. Just on the phone.
yeah.
Pretend like he's going to bed soon.
Jesse, what'd you
Where's
do?
Luke?
You're looking at it.
Schlubbed?
Yeah. No, I worked this weekend. I worked Friday. I went to bed at a good time. Yesterday, actually, which was Saturday, I went over to a friend's house that we went to the bachelor party with, Austin.
Wow.
You were in
New
Halifax.
friends. No, I'm just joking.
Don't
Gladly.
get him going.
New friends?
Don't get him going. Man. Oh my god.
Had a nice. He had a nice little food tray, allotment, a nice dip. I don't want to talk about food. But other than that, went to bed. I was in bed at a good time, and I woke up today, ate even better, and here I am.
Jesse had a restful weekend.
Restful weekend. Very boring.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Very
exciting.
lackluster.
Nothing exciting. Yeah.
Mine was pretty fun. I didn't get to see family, but I mean close too. I got to see Chad and Brandy, and they brought Olaf up too, so that was good. Good shout out to Chad and Brandy. Good friends from up Miramichi way. They came down. We played a lot of played some Villainous.
Nice.
We've got another couple hooked on that, which is great. Fun game. Sheena won a round, I won a round, and Chad won a round.
Poor
Or
Brandy.
Brandy. And man, Ollie
Couldn't bring it together.
Ollie had the best weekend of his life because there was
New dog.
another dog his size that he was like Olaf doesn't play and he's also deaf, so like Ollie was like lunge and bark and Olaf's like doesn't even have any idea it's happening. And then like when he would catch him, he'd like, and then Ollie like, shit, I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry, man. Like I'm trying to be your friend, dude. I'm trying to be your friend. I was like, he was so tuckered out. It was awesome. But yeah, they left this morning, so it was pretty chill. And we made some chili and had some beer, and it was good. It was a good Saturday.
There you go.
Nice.
Recuperation for the boys.
Yeah.
What about Jacob?
Well, it was pretty good. I mean, on God, the weekend, I tried to I was like relaxing, but yet still trying to like get stuff done. So I mean, like for anybody who doesn't know, like I do a lot of the editing for a lot of our stuff. So Saturday's typically my day, and it was even better because you know, like I actually got a day off work where like I didn't have to actually go in on my day off. so I actually got to get like a good amount of stuff done and things like that. So I
messaged Drake at like 11 a.m. I was like, hey, like Chad and Brandy are here. You can come over and play some games whenever you want to.
Yeah.
He messaged me back at like 3:30. He's like, dude.
No, it was like 5.
Yes, it was late. He was like, I am so sorry. I was in the zone.
Yeah.
He's like, I just didn't stop editing.
Get in the zone.
Yeah. So I was doing that like you know, did the recent Hall Hunters episode, and then throughout the day I was like, you know, I maybe took a break. I was playing some games at the same time, and I was on with like our typical crew that we play, and there's like and all the guys were just like, let's download, you know, Master Chief Collection, Halo Master Chief Collection. And so I was just 182 gigs. Yeah. And I was just like, all right. Yeah. I was like, yes, let's do it. You know what I mean? I had pretty good. It was only a couple hours for me, like only like 2 hours or so.
Because you had already had it, but
I
archived it.
But I just had to re-download it. So I was downloading from scratch. And then, but anyway, so we jumped in and we were playing, and the other guys were, you know, theirs were taking a bit long. I have pretty good internet in my place, so it was pretty quick on there, and the PC's a good build. And so I was doing it on PC. So I played a game on my own, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. That's where I kind of got the idea of the little video I made and put up on like my, you know, first game back to Halo. And I got it because like
teabag.
Like I don't know.
Sword. That's all it is. Him just getting demolished, and it's by the computer too.
Oh,
on easy.
Yeah. So like I got the idea. Like I played my first like game like online, and it just brought me back to like all the days of playing Halo. Not only that, like, you know, I'm a big fan of, you know, company and YouTube channel and website, you know, Rooster Teeth, who have done the Red versus Blue series. If you're not, are you familiar with it, Luke, at all or anything?
No.
So it's this funny series that came years ago, back with Halo 1.
This was like when Newgrounds was like the way to find funny videos. Like
yeah, and so they did like they were pretty much enacting like skits and things like that. But using Halo as like a acting platform, like so they would film as a guy look with like one guy's screen and do that, and it evolved into this incredible series to the point now it's on fucking Netflix.
Nice.
All right. And this is a video game. Like this is video game. Like it's straight up like technically it is all being rendered and not rendered, but like all being filmed using a video game and a controller and everything like that. Now they've gotten to a point now where they're so big they've got like motion capture suits and things like that they can add in with it. But it's really good and it's really funny. So I was just like, man, like I always miss that. And that's kind of where I got the idea, because Halo has this cool functionality where you can go back into your games, replay the match in like a footage format, but you can move the camera around and capture whatever you want.
Good for Drake. You got to see himself get sniped 85 different actions.
Oh, there's a lot that I missed during that first
A lot
game.
of things were cut
made
from
it
that
look
a
lot better than it was.
Yeah,
Tommy spot.
strategic editing.
I didn't download it because I'd have to like delete Ark and a bunch of other big games to even get this thing going. I know I can get a couple of the different ones, but like a lot of the night too, I was watching Drake play with the other guys, and man, like it was pretty rough at some points, man.
Yeah,
A couple good moments. You're really good with your pistol,
Yeah,
but that's about it.
yeah. I like to play like a lot of the vehicles and that, which statistically like on the stat board doesn't show a lot because you're driving the vehicle
newbie as
rather
hell.
than shooting. But like I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of
Drake
fun
loves
doing it.
vehicles.
I do in all the games. I love driving vehicles, flying things, or doing whatever. That's my
One day on
favorite thing. I
Uber.
like doing. So
Halo.
So I love doing that, and but every single time we had somebody join in, like new who finished their download, whatever, join in. You know, we were just getting over, just going to roll. All right, okay, they jumped in, and then we just like drop again, be really bad. Then we pick it back up, and then another person joined, and we drop and be really bad again. So yeah, I spent
Everybody was getting refreshed.
but I was, man, like after a while, and then we started having a few beers while we were doing it after I finished and put the video up and everything. And then next thing I know, like it was 3 a.m. by the time I decided, I was the first one to call it quits. It was 3 a.m.
All the boys are still on it hard.
Yeah, they were still playing hard. And so I was just like,
I'm probably gonna download it, but I'll probably just take a couple chips of it.
we were just having fun. Yeah, we were just having a good time with it, right? And so yeah, and that's kind of a big like thing I've been pretty excited about, because not only can I play on PC, but I can also use like xCloud, which is, you know, Xbox's streaming platform for their games essentially. So you don't actually have to have it installed anywhere. You can just play it through the cloud, and it's like the footage and the gameplay is being streamed to somewhere, to the point where I can do it with my phone. So I've actually bought a clip. It's over there, but it's like an Xbox kind of clip you can put on your controller, and then it hooks your phone on top of it, so you can just hold your phone while you have your controller and you Bluetooth it, and so I could play Halo through that even if I wasn't home.
Cool.
So that's really cool. And they just announced
Is it gonna make you any better?
No.
Well,
If anything,
practice makes
it
perfect.
might make me worse. But
I remember. Okay,
from spot to spot.
So I was playing we were playing some custom ARAM games with like League of Legends with a couple other friends, and I was watching them still play their stuff too. I just remember like in the middle of my game, whenever I just look over at Drake, I just seen him lob a grenade, and it just went nowhere. Like it just, it looked, he was trying to get up through a window, but he just missed the angle, like just by enough that it like just bloop, and I was like,
ding,
nice, Drake, nice.
Yep.
There's a lot of funny moments
Story
just,
of
like,
this
just watching it. It really brought me back. It was pretty fun.
But that's the thing about Halo, right? Is like even if you're not doing well, there's still areas in it that you can have a lot of fun just with the way the game's made. The random things that could happen. You could be walking down a hallway, and a car could explode to the left of you, and it could fly over, hit you, and kill you, and you just be like, "What the fuck happened?" You have no idea. So you just have a lot of fun
when you
with
got
it.
crushed in that crash.
Yeah. So
Are you playing any games at all right now? Drake?
yeah.
On your phone, anything? I'm just curious.
Just the people's hearts.
Just people-
No, yeah, I actually hooked up the N64 last week, and I've been kind of playing through. Well, not really, just kind of turning the games on and going to played files and just kind of get used to Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. I went through both of those a little bit. I'm waiting for something from Amazon to come. 2 things: the plug into HDMI to my TV, because the AV is just whew.
Oh.
It's like I hate it.
Not so great.
And also I got extenders coming, like extension cable, so I can just actually sit in my bed and
for the actual controllers.
Oh, yeah.
so they're
yeah.
I got 4
What
of
do you
those
mean? You don't
coming.
want to sit cross-legged and look it up at the TV?
No,
On the
my
floor?
back's too bad nowadays.
Real short.
But I'm listening to this Halo. I'm probably gonna download. I'm gonna get you to download it maybe on the computer.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I might play it. Would you
Yeah.
play it?
I probably could. I have no idea how to.
I don't want to play
I've
campaign
literally never played
anything,
once, but
I wouldn't mind.
First-person shooter, Luke.
yeah. So I'm gonna be like you guys won't want me there, man.
Yeah.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Every highlight clip is going to be me standing there doing absolutely nothing.
There's a lot of
I could just picture you playing super stiff, like never moving your body while you're running.
One at a time.
Only one joystick at a time. Yeah.
It's one at a time.
He wants to. He instead of like turning and moving, he just turns first, and then he starts running forward.
I've said that from the beginning, boys. I can't do it. I can't move the guy, move my sights, and shoot all at once. I don't know what it is. My hand-eye coordination cannot compute.
But Switch has 2 joysticks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but think about how simple Mario Golf is. Okay,
Yeah, you don't really have to do anything else.
Listen, I played Zelda.
that's true. Yeah, you have to use both in that one.
Kind of.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just doesn't connect.
That being said, you're saying when you go to bed, you're doing double screen. Sometimes you're playing games. What kind of games are you rocking on your phone?
I
Don't
got
say
back
Candy
in.
Crush.
No, God, no. No, I got back into Marvel Strike Force.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I had been on that hard for a long time, and for some reason I got it. I was in a good guild for a while, and then I ended up out of it because I wasn't playing enough. And after I was out of that good guild, I was like, I couldn't really do well in raids and all that stuff. So I was like, forget it. I'm not gonna bother.
So you were never good at all.
But no, I was never good. Oh no. Again, not good at games.
No, but that's one of those
in
games.
any faction, I'm not good at games.
That's one of those games that if you do your dailies and you stick
Yeah,
to it and you
yeah,
have
yeah.
a generalized concept of how to put your teams together, you're gonna do well. You just need a group around you that you can actually do the hard content.
Like I had done a lot of like collecting characters and trying to build good teams and all that kind of stuff. And I was in a good guild for a little while, and I've been keeping up with raids. And obviously, you're getting more to be able to build more then. But I must have fallen off for a couple of days or something at one point, and they were pretty hardcore on making sure that you're up on the dailies and like doing a lot of that kind of stuff. And so I missed it, got kicked out, and I was like, I'm gonna stop. And I ended up like completely deleting it, all that kind of stuff. I tried to get back in when I was like re-downloading this time. Tried to get back into the account that I had, couldn't figure it out, so I had to start from fresh.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
that'd be kind
started
of fun
from
though.
fresh. It was actually it was pretty sweet.
It's I always like doing that with a game where like when you've played through and you know you have the knowledge and the expertise of like who to really focus on first, not waste your resources and your materials on like really garbage tunes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always kind of like starting from scratch too.
Yeah,
Once
it was
you have an
pretty
idea of what you should be doing the right way.
Yeah,
That's
like
like an
I haven't gotten into a good guild or anything yet. I'm back up to like a level 40 or something, which is pretty good. But I don't have a lot of characters. I'm not putting money in it. Like
the grind is real.
I've never been like the one who wants to put a bunch of money into it or anything like that. So I'm just plugging away now, and that's pretty much all I've ever really been playing so far.
We can just skip Dave because I already know he's playing. He's playing Ark and he's playing some League of Legends. That's about it. So moving. No, I'm joking.
What about my phone game that I just recently started?
Oh yeah,
Right,
you
right?
don't know.
I've only been on it for I think today was day 25 or something.
You've only been on it for 25 days.
Yeah,
That was your. I haven't been playing it for long.
Yeah.
Term was 25 days.
I really haven't. It's called
Under a month is big for Dave.
It's very similar to the idea of like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which I played for like 4 years.
Yeah.
But I just stopped like when work got too crazy. I was like, I can't do this anymore. But same as Marvel. But it's a gotcha game where you collect heroes, give them gear. You go in with a team of 4, and they have synergies and stuff like that. But it's like the animations of it is probably the best I've seen.
What is it?
It's called Epic 7.
Epic 7.
It's very like Final Fantasy style, but also like with a mixture of like Dragon Ball Z animations,
Oh, nuts.
and like it's pretty good. Like and like Chad, Keegan, Beal, Chris, all those guys are playing, and they've been playing it for forever, so they were pretty pumped when I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. They're like, excellent. So now I'm in their I'm in their guild and stuff, and like they're crazy. Like they have a group chat that makes like our football fantasy group chats look like ridiculous. Like nothing happens in that. This group chat just goes and goes all day. It's just like, boys, relax.
Calm down.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that one, like that part of it, I'm like, yeah.
That would exhaust Jesse, man.
Game's really cool. I'm gonna show
We
you
talk
guys
too much for him.
I'm
Like,
gonna show you guys the game before I leave today, but just to give you an idea of like what it looks like, it actually like it's super impressive.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Drake, you've been playing some of your regular games.
Yeah,
Mostly.
I play a lot of different things. Like I said
a
earlier,
problem.
Dave and I play games a little bit different. Dave will stick to like 1, maybe 2 games, but he'll just only play that, but he'll dedicate himself. I can easily jump between game at any point, depending on what I'm feeling. Like I played a little bit NBA 2K today. I was playing some Miles Morales the other day.
Nice.
I've been playing Halo. I'll play
You'll play some League of Legends here with us.
League of
too?
Legends. I'll play No Man's Sky. I'll play. I can jump into anything because it depends on what I'm feeling. Like I could be watching a movie one day and it just inspires me to go play this game or do
Sounds
whatever.
like you can never be happy or complete.
You jump
Or
back
good,
into
'cause you're done with
Or
it.
good.
and I've been and
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2. Man, I've been having some fun with that too.
You should reach out to Cyrus. He loved that game.
Yeah,
Well,
Cyrus and I
1.
play a lot some Battlefront and stuff, or Star Wars Squadrons, because anything Star Wars I'm going to be in on, and so there's a lot of things like that. But I've been trying to, I'm getting ready to jump back into some Switch with Pokemon Unite coming, which we're going to talk about in a sec, because I have a question. I have a question I want to ask you guys about Nintendo, because Nintendo's been pretty common within all four of us, and just recently Steam just came out with the announcement of their new handheld, right? The Steam
You
Deck
know
or
about this,
whatever.
by the way?
So they've got that coming out, and it's and everybody online is now saying that this, like, they're comparing it to the Switch because of how just much it resembles it, but how it's fixing and solving different things that the Switch falters on, essentially. And then it got me to kind of thinking, because like the Switch just came out with the Skyward Sword kind of HD remake, just making the resolution a little bit better, and then they've also done things that are just kind of like lately, like like the Switch OLED. I haven't, like, a lot of the people were just kind of underwhelmed with. It's just kind of like a refresh. It still didn't fix issues like the drifting Joy-Cons, and addressing certain things that people wanted to have fixed. No 4K, no nothing. And so my question to you guys is,
Jesse was itching for comments there.
my question to you guys, and you can, this you can answer maybe with this. With Nintendo, sometimes they take really long to address the things that we want to do, or maybe that you sit there like waiting for a long time. And do you guys think that our nostalgia with how much Nintendo means to us, where a lot of us all started with, clouds the fact that if any other company made certain decisions like sometimes they do, you wouldn't, like, it wouldn't fly as much because we have so much kind of like unadulterated like love for Nintendo?
Well, it's kind of like listening to you talk, because like you're waiting for things to wrap up so that we still really like you, so we're okay with it.
Hey, you're part of our family.
Sorry,
You're part of our family, so we put up with it.
I had to.
I had to explain it.
I know. I'll quickly chime in, because again, like,
Don't worry, my thoughts are gone.
I'm sorry. You'll come up next.
There's no way what you're going to say was better than what I was going to say. But
Do it.
I forget it already. I told you.
Forget it already. Damn it. You've had some good rips. I'm sorry. I chimed in. I was just gonna say, with Nintendo, I'm not a big gamer, so like Nintendo's pretty much we're kind of like attached to and like enjoyed and played a bunch of different games on, because like I'm not good at the first person shooters and all that other kind of stuff. So like for me, it's like, oh, if Nintendo does anything, it's cool. Like it doesn't like affect me largely one way or the other if they do something good or not so good. Like, those are the games
from them.
Those are the games I'm always going to play anyway. So, whether their system upgrades and it's huge and it's something awesome, or it's just all the same, I'm still good.
Yeah.
I think with Nintendo, I did forget what I was going to say, but with Nintendo, they don't have they do. They have a hardcore fan base, obviously, probably the largest, but they don't have a hardcore gamer. I don't think it's their competition of gaming is not on the level of what you'd see in computer or PC, Microsoft or Sony or whatever you want to call it. They don't have the platform or the games that were even. I know they have the Smash Bros. I'm sure there is a level of eliteness to that, but it's not the same caliber of what you see in esports.
In
Call of Duty and that kind of stuff too, right?
And Pokemon, sorry. With Nintendo, they have so much of whether you want to call it nostalgic, but the Mario franchise, the Pokemon, everything that, or does Nintendo own Pokemon? No, Nintendo's not Pokemon. Do they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't own it, but they have the right. They have the right
to the game end of it. But I'll even pull that out of it. Let's just say not even Pokemon, but like Zelda, all the famous Nintendo games, like. They've got that forever. There's no other platform can take that. So they don't have to, be like all the time. They don't have to be on all the time. But when they are on and they have a good game, they're always going to reap the rewards from it. They don't have, like you said, the expectations, right?
Yeah. So I'll piggyback off of Jesse's answer to answer your question. Big Nintendo fan, but yes, I am not ignorant to the fact that my love of Nintendo stifles the fact that they're a little bit behind sometimes. But I also don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not awaiting a game so intently that I can't wait for it to happen. Like, don't get me wrong, the sooner the new Zelda game comes out, the better. But I mean, we've been waiting long enough as it is. I'm patient enough to wait on that next game coming out. And like Jesse said, when Nintendo hits it, like they hit a home run.
Yeah.
Right, and they're okay with that. So I mean, at the end of the day,
So like
cares?
you get your
Steam's not going to play the Nintendo games. Like it's not going to get that. Even if it is the Switch, but better.
No, for sure.
Who cares? They play the Switch because it has those games.
And the reason I only brought it up was that because like I'm going through articles like crazy for gaming and stuff like that, and a lot of articles are referencing essentially like this is fixing what they're instantly comparing it to Switch. And then there's another article about Zelda, Skyward Sword and that, and they're like, hey, they did this, but was Skyward Sword really the one that you wanted to do this on? Like, should it have been another one or anything like that? And there's been a lot of articles questioning it, and it just got my mind going in the sense of being like,
oh, it's a good question.
has it done it right? And like for me, I'm almost like kind of similar to what a lot of you guys are saying too. Like, I have so many other gaming peripherals around my entire place. My knowledge of my passion for the gaming industry gets me going on it, but at the same time, it doesn't affect me nearly as much when they don't do it because I don't spend as much time on a Switch. I will soon because Pokemon Unite's coming out on Wednesday. Is that the 21st?
It's 21st, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So 21st, yeah. That they just announced it. Boom, Pokemon Unite's coming out, and I'm pretty excited about that because when they announced that, you and I were talking and saying the potential for this as like a MOBA is incredible because
big.
the huge amount of a roster they could have with all of the Pokemon. They could continuously update and add new ones, and the fact that the Pokemon evolve throughout the game, which just adds a whole new layer that a lot of other games don't have, and cool things like that. I thought it was
choosing your different moves and abilities as you level up.
Yeah, it was a new way of playing these games that are very similar to like a Dota and a League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm, but making it different enough that it was like, oh, this is a cool twist. Not to mention it's on Switch and it's going to be on mobile as well, and it's cross-play and that. So I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I know I'm going to play it. I'm going to find a way for us to be doing some streaming, but I don't know what you think, Dave, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I'll be buying it on the Switch.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes out on Wednesday. I am a big League of Legends fan, even though it's kind of like an abusive relationship. It's toxic as can be, but you keep going back to it. Just keep going back to it. Yeah, exactly. Go to grab the beer and it's not there.
No one keeps you as warm at the end, eh?
Yeah. But
even if you do take a beating.
I do. I love the concept. I like the MOBA genre. So when you take that and you slap some Pokemon into it, I mean, sign me up. Like, right? Like really?
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder what kind of game Dave would really enjoy. Let's create it for him now.
There's big oiled up men in it.
Yeah.
Home run.
Yeah. Big oiled up men in there. Yeah. Machamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Machamp's in there.
Flexing. Just
Yeah. Are you gonna
Yeah,
get it on the
yeah.
Switch? you think?
I'll play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Because you played a bit of the beta as well, right? When it came out on mobile,
On the
like
phone,
as a
yeah.
die and that. So that's one that you think you'll jump
I
into?
think I would probably prefer to play it on the Switch. I just found like I wasn't as like into it, I guess, on my phone. Like I don't know what it was about the phone usage. Just didn't really.
Did you have to hit 2 joysticks at once, or?
Essentially, I had to use both sides of the phone.
It's true.
So I mean,
I think that would. I think we kind of talked about this last time. Like, if you're using the phone versus the Switch, I feel like using your phone is a disadvantage.
yeah, I feel like the Switch side of things is definitely going to have a little bit more of advantage just in
Even screen
playability.
size.
Yeah, well, screen size too, of course. Yeah, if you're taking it away, but I mean, playing it on the TV and stuff would be pretty cool too.
It depends. Like it depends on. In all honesty, like I don't know what the controls are going to be like for the control on the Switch. Like by all means, you would. The first thing you think of is like, yeah, Switch must have some kind of advantage. Like if you move the Joy-Con, is that just moving your character? Because if it is, that's a huge advantage than having to tap everywhere, or drag it on your phone or anything like that, right?
Probably like a cursor thing, I imagine. When you click, wouldn't it be like with the joystick? And
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I have no idea yet.
Yeah.
I really do.
How do you not know?
Because if you can use the Joy-Con to
It's
move
not
your
Wednesday.
character, that's going to be way better.
Yeah, you're going to be way more accurate, in my opinion, in terms of it. And then I'm assuming that the buttons on the side are just going to correspond to your powers, and then that's kind of it. My only question is, like, just aiming certain things. Like, I wonder how that's just going to work out for it. And so, I don't know. We'll see on Wednesday, obviously.
Yeah, it's exciting.
In terms of how it goes. But in terms of Pokemon.
Another Pokemon world.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on with some cards, man? We got some new releases coming out soon, eh?
No, you know what? Not until August. We're waiting for that Evolving Skies to come out. I mean, until then, there's probably not too much going on in the Pokemon land of things. I recently opened a Voltage booster box. I'm hunting for that Pikachu. I've only went through about maybe like 8 packs so far. Nice. Not really good pulls so far, so they haven't made it up. But you'll be seeing some more of that. I should be getting into it.
Vivid, I love Vivid Voltage because it's it really it's what really kind of got us sitting.
It was the first
sitting here
one,
today.
Yeah.
Pulling that in my basement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really kind of jump started it all to what we're at right now. So it's got a little spot in my heart.
Oh yeah,
That
definitely.
Pikachu, man.
It'll be big for us. It'll always be an important one for our group kind of thing.
Yeah. Went from Dave's basement to Luke's basement. And so it's been
And Jesse's
Dave's
from the
basement to
bottom
Jesse's
now.
room to Luke's basement.
now
We're
we're
a little more above ground.
slightly slanted.
Yeah, slightly slanted.
Fuck.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, in the comments below, or if you're listening, just give us a shout out. What was your favorite release from Pokemon cards? Just lay it on us. I would have to say
Modern day set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even the old school ones. What was your favorite old school? That's always
Fossil,
good to know.
right? That's Fossil,
Fossil
Jungle.
Jungle.
Those are sweet, right?
Yeah, those are cool. Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Red Rockets.
Why?
No, I don't know.
No.
I just look at your mic.
South Park.
Well,
But
Red Rocket.
Yeah.
Red Rocket.
speaking of Rockets, UFC last night. We have Malkovich definitely, hopefully, surging into the top 10, rocketing, if you will.
Well, so is Khabib actually coaching him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in his corner.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's
so
cool.
Khabib's undefeated as a coach as well,
Yes.
which is insane.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Guy doesn't
many
know how
it's
to
not
fights-
about,
Yeah,
it's not about
doesn't
the,
lose.
not about losses. or
No,
wins.
I know,
That's what
but
wins.
it's
But-
still another cool stat.
He's yet to fight, a high ranked fighter, but
Yeah, nothing numbered.
I think I hear next might be RDA, DeSanjos.
Yep.
He called out
Raphael.
Chandler. I don't know if Michael
Yeah,
Chandler.
you're not gonna get up there yet.
Yeah, I might
Fight
have
a
to-
couple another numbered fighters, and then maybe we'll get you up there.
Him and McGregor.
And I mean, Jeremy Stevens fought his 150th fight last night and lost. But other than that,
150th?
no,
Not actually.
no,
He's just old.
he's stopped fighting. He's becoming
How many
he's becoming a
fights did he have?
500 fighter with wins in his 20s and losses in his 20s.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not.
Not super impressive. Fighting way too long.
I think he's 27, 19 or something. I don't know.
That's a lot.
Pretty close. But yeah, the week before, obviously, I didn't get to talk to you guys about it, but McGregor suffered a tibia and fibula fracture, and also
Have you
his
recuperated?
dignity. No, I mean,
fracture.
I watched the fight, and I knew he was getting dominated, and I knew it was definitely a 10-8 round. But I mean, of course, it would have been a 10-8 round. I mean, he was on his back for the majority of it. I mean, if they would have 10-9, you don't count. I mean, he laid it to him both times. You don't count, even if he elbowed him, you still don't get that to McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, since then, I mean, again, I'm not going to give McGregor any credit, but there's been well deserved more hatred towards him losing that round than anything. It's just I do agree he 9 times out of 10 probably not going to be Poirier, but I don't think it's that undecisive. Everyone now is oh fuck that, but he probably is now because his foot's fucked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was that dominant of a round overall. I don't think it was just put the lights out. I think next round, or even I think if anything would happen, if his foot would have been okay, both rounds, I still think he probably would have lost, but it'd probably been a little bit better of a fight. It would have actually been a fight.
Oh, it was just disappointing.
It wasn't a
in
fight.
general,
It
really.
wasn't a fight.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
first
it was
round was
super hyped, and everyone was really
it was a
excited. for it.
takedown, but since if you count from his foot getting fucked, that last minute and a half, was just a broken foot and laying on the ground, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get it. Again, I mean, he had him in a shitty ass guillotine for probably a minute too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just it wasn't Poirier was eating him up, eating his soul. But
He definitely won, but it wasn't decisive.
wasn't. Yeah.
There was no way to that's what I was saying last week was there's no way to say from that one round that Poirier won that the rest of the fight would have 100% happened this way.
Probably,
it's likely that it
Yeah.
would have, but there's just no way to be able to snap your fingers and say that came true.
Yeah, there's no guarantee, right, when it comes to them, in any fight, whether it's a submission, whether it's a knockout, whether it's whatever
Whether
injury.
it's me versus Luke.
Anything
You have
that
a fighter's chance.
if that didn't happen, then who knows what the rest of the fight could have been like, right? Like you could have a fight, like just say hypothetically, say Usman's fighting and he's a dominant guy. He could dominate something, get caught once, get knocked out, be like, oh well, he was winning the fight, right?
Well, people forget about that with Charles Oliveira. Like he's the lightweight champion right now, but Michael Chandler destroyed him that first round, and then he just lost in the second round.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
In the Diaz fight, Leon Edwards dominated him the entire time, 5 straight rounds. The last minute, Diaz caught him and then had him on his back, on his heels the whole time.
but exactly.
It was just
Wasn't
that
decisive.
one last minute,
had
but
it.
he had the fighter's chance.
My question, Jesse, to you then, we talked a little bit on the last podcast, but you weren't here to comment on it. Like where Conor is now, where there's obviously a lot of scrutiny on him and everything like that. In my opinion, at least, I think that Dana, because we were talking about how like his last 5 fights, he's negative technically, right? Is he not? Like he's lost more.
He's not winning anything.
And then
so
we were
far.
saying that like if this happened to
Are we dating it back to like the first Diaz fight or something?
the last, I don't know.
Well, I don't know if you go back as far as Diaz, but like he lost to Khabib, he's lost to Poirier twice, he beat Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah, say that's 3 out of 4.
Yeah, so like
Lost to Mayweather.
Yeah, I
suppose.
then you back
you don't
to
really
Alvarez.
you don't
just
really
kidding.
count
So,
that, but yeah.
but clearly, Dana, will book these fights because they are big ticket fights in terms of like money wise, like they're big money fights. They get a lot of people watching and things like that. But in the end, the past couple times we've been kind of a lot of people root for Conor, but they in the end we get like this disappointment because he loses or he's lost or whatever. So if I'm Dana White and I want to get Conor back to where I want him to be or anything like that to get these big money fights, like I almost want to challenge him, being like, look, Conor, like we pay you a lot to do these fights. These past 4 fights, you've lost 3 of them. If this was any other UFC fighter, like they don't get those fights anymore, right? So I would say we're going to drop your rank. You got to get yourself back up to these big money fights and make him kind of want it more. Because what got him to that point was the fact that he kept wanting more. He wanted more. He wasn't always a big money fighter. He obviously had to win to get to where he wanted to, right? So do you do that if you're Dana? Like
No, it's not about the money to him anymore. Like
you don't think?
Okay, yeah, he made 23 million last fight, but he won it because there was the second biggest pay-per-view event in UFC history. Like he got a lot of from the pay-per-view events because he is Conor McGregor. He's not a journeyman. Like he's not gonna. You're not gonna put up people against him that doesn't. Unfortunately, does he deserve it at the end of the day? No, but only him is that exception. Sometimes there's just an exception, and I don't know how many fighters there are in the UFC.
A lot.
Hundreds. He is that one exception. He could lose 8 fights in a row, and every fight he has, he's either gonna fight someone like a Diaz. He might not be a high ranked fighter, but any person that Conor McGregor fights from this point is probably undeservingly, admittedly, going to be a ranked fighter.
Like
It's got to be
But he's also one too. Like at the same of it, does he deserve it? No, but he's also outside of what he's done for the UFC, outside of the fame, outside of the money he brings in. He's also has won, 2 belts in different weight classes. He has, yes, he is 3 out of 4 losses, but his record's also 21-5. Like that's like. Is he out of his skid? Is he ever going to recover? Probably not, because he doesn't have the hunger, doesn't have his drive. But he would have to lose 10 fights, like before, and he wouldn't do it.
Because with Conor, like again, I think I talked about it a little bit the last time. With him, he's probably not going to get to a point where he loses another 10 fights and still wants to keep going, like to a point where he's going to be a journeyman. Like he's
worried about
he's
like
gonna,
Anderson Silva thing, right?
Right.
Like that's what I get worried about.
But he's gonna.
that.
But what he's gonna do is he's only gonna be able to have these fights that are gonna spin a story, like the Diaz trilogy, rematch with Poirier. Like these are inevitable fights that he'll want to book because he can spin a story to sell pay-per-view because he's gonna make money off the pay-per-views. He's not gonna
wants to
take.
beat him.
Yeah, like he's not gonna take a fight against an up-and-comer, or he's not gonna take a fight against a no-name who's not numbered because it's not gonna be something that's gonna allow him to spin a story to make more money.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you can't ignore the fact that currently right now things are very
Conor
similar
McGregor
to,
is
very
Nintendo,
similar to
Drake.
what but they're very similar to what happened with Anderson Silva, right? Like to the point where they've both broken their leg at this point. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just you just get scared that like like I've bought in the proper 12 whiskey and I've and everything like that, but do from a management perspective, if you want to get the most out of Conor McGregor, do you start to control him a little bit more in terms of which fights and things like that?
It's almost too late for that. Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, he's
Nintendo.
He could shit on his name 100 times over, and it's only up to him when he wants to be done. I think, unfortunately, and I don't think that is probably right, but he somehow got to that level. I think since he did get to that level, it'll never be allowed that someone does get to that level again. I think there'd be control at some factor, but he was the 1 percentile that just somehow you wouldn't even see it in any sport, because the UFC is only talked. No, I couldn't say give it all to him, but you talked about Anderson Silva. Like, Anderson Silva he had the star power, but he wasn't a mega superstar on the world. He was maybe big.
He didn't have the marketing prowess.
He didn't finish number one in Forbes magazine. Yeah. Like Conor, I know he sold his proper whiskey, but I mean, he wasn't in Forbes magazine year after year. Like, Conor McGregor took the UFC from, I mean, admittedly or not, in the last half a decade, from a meteor sport to a high level where it's talked about amongst the NFL.
Yeah, if you were a UFC fan, you knew who Anderson Silva was.
Exactly.
Because he was the best at the time. But if you took an outsider who has no idea what UFC really is or what it's about, even if they know what it is, and you said Anderson Silva, even in his prime, not a lot of people are going to know who he is. Yeah. But you ask anyone right now who Conor McGregor is, even if that person has no idea his fights, who he's lost against, what it was, they go, oh, that's that crazy Irish guy that's in the UFC that everyone loves or hates, right? It's just he's Nintendo. It's kind of
he's a household name.
Yeah, I'm scared about that with boxing.
It's a rare time for that to happen.
It was ironic that he was saying that Poirier was going to be leaving on a stretcher, and then he himself.
Oh, very cringe. Don't get me wrong, but
that's
weird. Everything he said about that, even to his family and everything after,
it was different.
Cringe.
He's obviously in a weird spot. Like,
he's fucking I couldn't imagine the hormones rushing through his head and body, but there shouldn't have been a microphone probably in front of him. But Joe Rogan doesn't care.
Joe Rogan's gonna get his interview.
Wait, did you see that meme? I think I sent it to you or whatever.
Him and Anakin crawling up after getting beat up by Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Anakin, I know you're in a lot of pain right now. You're on fire and you've lost 3 limbs, but do you really think that Obi-Wan had the high ground that you could do? It was pretty funny, man.
Now we should probably move on to a real sport.
Yeah.
Well, cricket. I think
before we end,
I think what I'm thinking here, boys, and people may find out as we get through the end of this. I think we should wrap this up into 2 parts. We're getting pretty well into the podcast that we've had now, and we've got a lot of time invested in this. I think we got to break it up, because the next part, in part 2, is going to be the Seattle Kraken expansion draft. We've got a lot to talk about in that. So I think it'd be kind of cool if maybe we separate it. Cool. Let the people know now that this is part 1. Coming right alongside, it's going to be part 2. You guys can separate right into the expansion draft, because it's coming up soon. Yeah. And I want to really delve into this, and I don't want people to be listening for an hour and a half just waiting on this. It might be cool to separate it. So I guess with that being said, part 1, we're wrapping up. Everybody out there, thank you very much for your time. Please like, share, and subscribe our content. Yeah. Put that notification bell on. Hear ye. And tune in very soon. Part 2 coming at you. Thank you.
Sounds like a little cop gun.